Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. It's directly to you. It's episode 248 of the Redirect Podcast. I'm AJ. I'm joined by Parker. We make stuff. Help us support that stuff by going to youtube.com/watchredirect or twitch.tv/watchredirect or patreon.com/watchredirect and checking out the stuff that you get in exchange for the different tiers of membership. Patreon's your guide. It tells you all your stuff. Pick your poison on platform there. If you want emotes,
That's right.
Go to Twitch. If you want YouTube access, go to YouTube. Go to Patreon. We have a Discord. We record this show. It's a good old fun time. You can join that. You get access to Porter's channels where we record it live and you get to watch it live. You get to listen to it live. You get to react live. We're talking about the Nintendo Direct.
It's true. Before we do that, should we recap or just remind of the news from last week?
Away.
Yes.
It's
in case you didn't hear
longer...
last week's podcast, we've got 3 more episodes, including this one, and then we're just pivoting to doing like more videos and fewer podcasts. So,
got confirmation at least from Dan. He's going to be on 250. Mask Robert. That'll be the I was going to say trifecta, but it's 4
the
people.
quadfecta.
I don't know what that is. Anyways,
Sure.
Nintendo Direct time.
It happened.
It happened.
Yes.
It was a thing that they did. We saw it. Nintendo didn't stop making games. It turns out it's crazy. Whoever would have thunk it?
Yeah, probably no one.
No one would have thunk it.
So yeah, it started out with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. I'm gonna watch it in the background on my side because we were just getting it set up at that point, so I wasn't like paying super close attention to this. But you care more about this than I do, so tell me your thoughts.
How dare you?
I mean,
close attention
even if I cared a lot about it, you still would care more about it than I do. So that's still a valid statement.
I mean, to be fair, I don't care all that much about this because we still don't really know anything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
We got confirmation of some Pokemon that are coming, a Pokemon that me and Lee were literally talking about, Gliscor. This man's coming to the video game. Well, we didn't get confirmation of Gliscor, but we got confirmation of Gligar, and they're not gonna not let him evolve, you know. So Gliscor is going to be in the game after years and years. He's an Arceus, but that doesn't count. Who cares about Arceus? You can't play that with people. So we got confirmation of that. We got a extended look of where we're gonna be. We got this this is just another island here for the Teal Mask. That's the first part of the DLC.
Okay, so we know that it's an island officially?
I mean, I don't know if that's their exact verbiage, but it's more in comparison to the second part. Probably. The second part is just like, it just looks like it's like on an observatory, like a lab, kind of like Ready Player One vibes.
Yep.
Like, ain't no way a villain's not involved with you being here in some way, kind of vibe. But the first part is supposed to be summer vacation, and then the second part is like a field trip study thing.
Yep.
And another
is the
academy.
Second bit supposed to be like it gives kind of Britishy vibes? Maybe is it still supposed to be in Spain or?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, not really.
Well,
Spain,
not Spain, but that the
Paldea and stuff.
It's Al something. I don't know what it's called. Something Peninsula. It's like Portugal and Spain. Basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. It's called Paldea.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what it's called. That's what they call it.
Yeah. But yeah, the second one's interesting just in it having like, manufactured biomes or whatever. I'm curious what the like, in Sword and Shield, the first DLC pack was kind of more story stuff and like expanded a little bit on mechanics and whatever. And then the second DLC was the one that had Dynamax Raid Adventures and stuff. So I'm curious what like new mechanics will be added.
Equivalent to that, yeah. I feel like they don't have to, but it was huge for that game, like huge for that game. I know just through personal experience that there are people that bought that on the spot because we always do. Like even to this day, we do Dynamax Adventures, which we'll talk about at the end of the podcast, I guess. We still do them. So them putting something like that in this game would be good for them, I think. Also, another thing that happened that was semi-cool for me at first, but then it immediately became not cool. There's Gimme Ghoul raids, and this Gimme Ghoul for the first time, because it was Shiny Lock before, but now you have a chance to get Shiny. But it's normal Terra Raid Shiny odds, which are worse than base odds. So it's like, ain't no way that I'm going to do potentially, I mean, not like potentially upwards of 2,000 raids for the chance to get a shiny that I don't even like. A, I don't like the shiny. B, I don't even like the Pokemon. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Especially,
now, if it had raised odds, if it was like 1 in 100 or something like that, then sure, I'll do that. But the full Terra Raid odds, no, absolutely not.
Man, yeah, that's I can't. I mean, there's people I'm sure that will do that, but
there's plenty of people that would do that. People like Gimme Ghoul and Golden Go, and I mean more than people like them. It's a good Pokemon, so people will do it because like people do that anyway. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I like booted up Pokemon right now and like went on the ladder and somebody immediately just had the shiny. They probably didn't get the full odd shiny. They probably cheated. But they probably got it. So, hey, man.
There it is.
Cool.
Yeah. And so these are coming out fall for the
they
Teal
didn't
Mask.
change anything.
And winter for the Indigo Disc. So,
yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. I'm curious winter... It says winter 2023, though. I never know for them if that means December is winter 2023, because, I mean, December 21st is or whatever, or if they mean still like the fiscal year 2023, and so February,
It feels like to me, they mean like the earliest that they could possibly do it, but they want to give themselves leeway to be like, it's not going to be ready until January. Yeah. And hey, we said winter 2023,
Yeah, right. It's the winter that technically started in 2023 in December. Like, whatever. Yeah. So we'll see how that pans out.
That's literally the most close date that it could possibly be. And other times, like Pokemon Home, it's like down to the wire. But they did it. It was before summer, so it was spring.
Yeah, man, that's hilarious. So there was that. There you go, that DLC.
Yep.
Yeah, so last thought on that is that when I finished playing the base game, I was like, I'll probably pick up the DLC. And now that I'm this far removed, nah, I'm good. I'm playing other stuff, and there's lots of other games. So unless we see more of it and there's something like specific, new, cool something or other, then I probably won't make time for it. But glad that's coming. So. Nah, well, there you go. Next up, we saw Sonic Superstars, which is still looking good.
We already saw it. And they put the freaking big, bold local multiplayer. I'm tight. I'm upset. I'm probably still going to buy it and be angry because it's a new game. If it was a
local co-op,
a port
you're right.
Cringe.
So because we didn't know that before, like it was still
because we didn't know if it was like a
now.
Sonic. I mean, not a Sonic, like a Rayman Legends kind of situation where you like run through each other. So it's like there's no real interaction. So that's like easier.
Yeah.
But they did show in the trailer that like Tails can carry everybody. So it's like that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, but, I'm sure. In any case, I mean, this is one I was surprised that Ashley, in seeing this, was like, "Ooh, I'd play that." And I mean, I tweeted about it the other day, but the number of things that Ashley said, my wife said that about, I was surprised and happy because that means that we'll get to play together and stuff. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, it reminds me of like 2D Mario or like Donkey Kong or something like that." And I was like, I mean, it's a little bit different, but yeah, close enough, So
similar vibe, but just not as good.
Yeah. So there you go, Sonic Superstars. We've seen it before. All right, next one was Palia, and this was another one that Ashley was interested in. It seems like farming sim MMO sort of a thing with like definitely some Breath of the Wild inspired adventure-y bits, vibe wise or whatever. That's pretty neat.
They met their quota. We got the farming sim.
Yeah, we got at least 2.
But yeah, they showed. Well, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, this one, and it's free to play thing. So I'll check it out.
I was watching this with Dan streaming, and he said that I'm pretty sure this is the one that he said Alyssa likes a lot. So
like that art. So it's already out.
Apparently, it's good. I don't know.
Interesting. Palia. Is it? Okay, yeah, sure enough. It's MMORPG.com, 8.9 out of 10. That's pretty good. It's just a PC game right now. So cool. That's nice to hear. I bet Ashley would like it too. Also, I think Ashley and Alyssa would like each other.
True.
One day they should meet.
Yeah.
Next was Persona 5 Tactica, which we already knew about.
Yep.
And I don't really care about.
Same. I don't care about that. I'm glad Joker from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is finally getting another game for his Super Smash Bros. Ultimate mains to experience him for the first time ever in a different context.
True. Also, I don't see your screen anymore. Are you still sharing it on the thing, or do you mean to be sharing it, or do you not?
I'm sharing it.
Oh, okay, cool. It just isn't in the one in the Discord. So cool. That's fine. I don't need to see it. I just wanted to make sure if you wanted to that it was. I mean, like I have Persona 5 and I don't know that I'm ever going to get around to playing it because there's other games that I also haven't started playing that will also take me tens and tens and tens of hours. So This one just doesn't feel as high up on my radar. And that's fine. So it is what it is. All right, we'll kind of go quickly through some of these ones that we're not like super into, but Myth Force, also Ashley said that this one looked interesting.
This is the cartoon one that
the He-Man kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Which is, it's funny that here's what I think. I mean, no, they definitely went into it intentionally doing it, but I think somebody in marketing while they were making the game was like, this has kind of some Saturday morning cartoon vibes. We need to pretend like it's like fully Saturday morning cartoon vibes, which like probably that was part of the pitch meeting or whatever, but it's like, it's not like super Saturday morning cartoon vibes. So the fact that they're like really leading into it is just kind of funny. In terms of like the marketing, I don't know that I'd care about gameplay or whatever at all, but I think the vibe's neat. That's fun.
Yeah, I'll never play it.
Nope. Yeah, it's one of those that like, again, when Ashley saw it, she was like, oh, that looks cool. And I was like, we're never actually going to pick it up. When does it even come out? Coming soon, 2023. There it is.
There it is.
All right, next up, getting into some like Nintendo specific things. Splatoon 3 Splatfest was announced, and that's it. Thoughts?
Didn't they say something about the DLC too? I think they said something about the DLC.
I think they did this.
I think I might be thinking about the interview or whatever that they did. Recently.
I didn't even notice that until I was looking for news things. But yes, somebody so Nagami said in an interview or something like that. I don't know. Said something about it. Somewhere, which I guess is just that we'll be hearing more about it soon. Is that kind of the vibes you got from that? I'm trying to find the quote.
We'll see. They said that's holiday, I think. So got to be hearing about it at some point, but it doesn't have to be right now. We got a ways to go before holiday.
True. Yeah. Nagami said, yes, as everyone has guessed, the two of them are blah, 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 blah. We can't give it away any more details yet, but it's going to be a new story that Off the Hook will be part of. We also plan on making the gameplay completely new and different, so please look forward to it. And other specific things. So yeah, okay. I mean, I think I was just a little bit surprised that we
that they didn't
saw Splatoon 3 and didn't have it even mentioned at all.
Yeah.
But
hey man, Splatfest, vanilla versus strawberry versus mint.
Mint chip. Yeah. What do you think?
Which is crazy. I think that's crazy that they just said
100%.
Chocolate, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like mint chip is chocolate technically. And that's what Dan said. He was like, mint chip is chocolate. And I was like, shut up, Dan. Which, I mean, to be clear, I don't even like chocolate ice cream, but it just seemed weird. It's like if you want to replace any of those, I'll replace strawberry. But
yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, you had they had the makings of a Neapolitan and then
they said, but mint it though. But mint chocolate chip.
Which I mean, for what it's worth, I would pick mint chip of the three. So
I like vanilla. I don't hate, if of the three, the only one that I just outright would be like, no, I don't want that is strawberry.
So there you go. Yeah. So here's my feelings is mint chip is the safe, like the worst quality one will still be fine. Basically, like typically, whereas like the worst quality vanilla can be like super boring or bland, but really good vanilla is really good. So it kind of depends on like, are you getting a cheap brand or expensive brand or that kind of a thing. But yeah, I think probably mint chip also because it's got little chunks in it and chunks are nice. In my opinion. What do you guys think? Let us know.
Yeah, what were you gonna pick? I need to play this game, but there's so many games.
There's so many games.
Like there's multiple people. Like Trev's always like, "Yo, we gotta get back on Splatoon," and then Lee's like, "Yo, I'm trying to get into Splatoon again," and like so we gotta play it. But there's only so many days and videos and streaming and Pokemon and Smash Brothers.
It's true.
So much.
Yeah.
So it's so much easier to juggle like games that are not multiplayer games.
Yeah, right. Totally. Because you can just pick it up and stop it whenever you want and like not have to.
Whereas like multiplayer games, like I enjoy them more overall. But it's just like it feels like you can only play with so many of them like at a time.
Yep, it's true.
But Splatoon, I'll fit Splatoon in there at some point. It's a good game.
Nice. Next up, okay, this one confused me at first, and still a little bit now. But it's Detective Pikachu Returns. Before I give any thoughts, what are your thoughts?
It's about time. Finally, they've been said that they were going to do this, and they took forever to do it. I'm confused though, because I thought they said they were porting the first one. So like I thought that this would like, and I'm pretty sure like throughout the whole thing, I thought that this was the port. I'm like, oh, they're porting this, and then there were just like certain Pokemon that I'm like, wait. I don't think that like Inteleon that's definitely not in the original game. So this is definitely Detective Pikachu 2 and it's called Returns, but also I feel like they could have called it Returns even if it was just a port because it's still coming back.
Even by the end of it, I had the same thoughts where I was like, but these are Gen 8 Pokemon. Like, so what? But I was like, is it the first one or is it not? Like, it's called Returns. That really feels like it could be, it's this game coming back.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
What I thought.
Yeah. Because did you ever play Detective Pikachu on the 3DS?
I played part of it. I played part of it. I never finished it, I don't think. But I did play it. It's fine. I don't know if this would be better, but it's fine.
Yeah. I'll be curious to hear, like reviews and all that kind of stuff, because I mean, some of the things I heard about the first one too is like, it was really easy.
Yes.
And like with mysteries and stuff like that, like, I don't know. So it is what it is. Curious how this pans out in that regard. If there's a way to kind of scale that in some way, maybe, probably not, just knowing Pokemon things historically, but maybe, it's possible. The one thing I'll say too is, especially compared to the promotional image that is at least like the thumbnail for the video that's here, it looks like kind of like an up-res 3DS game, and in a world where we've had Pokemon Snap, it's a little bit painful to have had Pokemon stuff that's like, you know, like I get it in the context of, I mean, I'd say in some ways this is animated way more than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and stuff like that. But in terms of just like looks, like this looks just, it could be that it's missing the last coat of paint. They've got 4 months to do it, you know, or just under 4 months. So maybe that stuff that's just like lighting and shading or whatever, like that is yet to happen. But it just, everything looks really, really flat and kind of washed out in a way that is like, oh, that's a little bit disappointing when, you know, that getting into the vibes feels like a big part of it. So that's that. But I don't know. Yeah, you know, it's not necessarily a game for me anyway. So much as I love the movie, I don't know that I'm super, super into this. So I don't, who cares what it looks like, I guess is what I'm saying. Because it's not for me.
I'll probably check it out. It'll probably be a neat stream game at least. But I wasn't expecting more than just basically a 3DS game in the first place. So.
True. Yeah. Man, what a time. So yeah, it'll be curious to see how this all pans out. However, in terms of games that do look pretty great, the next one up, it was Super Mario RPG, and it looks pretty phenomenal.
I never played this game before. So Dan was freaking out because, you know, Dan, big Geno fan. He's like, yeah, finally Geno in Smash, and I'm like, whatever, man. And I was telling him, I was like, I never played this game before. He was like, now you have to. And I was like, I mean, sure, I guess I do, but also I'm not. I don't know if I like it or not. But I mean, I like the Mario
like gameplay
games,
wise,
but like not necessarily just the RPG experience. And this is the SNES RPG, so I lack faith that this is not going to be ridden with all of the things I hate the most about this genre.
Entirely possible.
I know that, like, after talking to Dan, that it does have like the Mario and Luigi like battle system, kind of like press A to jump on the thing, get more damage, that sort of thing, and that's cool. But I'm still concerned. I'll get it, but I am concerned.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, if you don't want to get it, I will be getting it. So you can play my copy if that makes it any easier to not have to bother and stuff.
I'll probably do that.
But yeah, no, I never played the original either. The only place that I technically have it is on the SNES Classic. Because it's not on not on NSO, and that's why, like, for so long people were like, why is it not on NSO? It's the last first party game basically
that matters.
Not yes, right, exactly. And, you know, like, is it a Square issue or whatever, you know? And I mean, maybe it was, but probably not. Probably, I mean, even if they haven't been actively working on this game for more than, you know, 3 or 4 years or something like that, they've at least known that they were going to be for before SNES games even started coming. So just makes sense that they held it back. But yeah, I mean, I think it vibe wise, I've never played this game. Apparently, like, music's really good, so I'm excited to hear that.
The original composer's coming back.
Shimomura, is that right? Yes, Yoko Shimomura is coming back. But yeah, RP said, fun fact, it's also a Square game, so Alex should approve. Yeah.
True.
It is. And I'm really curious if this is, because even in the like splash screen at the end, it's Nintendo / Square Enix, and as you know, it has to be. But I wonder if it's like Square Enix's name is in there because it has to be, and Nintendo did all like involved the thing, or if they're involved. Super curious about that. So,
We'll find out, I guess. I wonder, because they do it sometimes. Like sometimes they'll do like the like Owada esque like interviews where they like break, like they did it for Tears of the Kingdom, where they like do like daily or not necessarily daily. Sometimes it's daily, sometimes it's weekly. Where it's like part 1 of the interview. I wonder if they're going to do something like that for this. It seems warranted because it has been like a long time since they've done something like this with this game. And the times that they do things like this with this game, it's like few and far between. And it seems like, I mean, I don't think it has like a large following, but it definitely has a ravenous one.
Yeah, right. Totally.
So we'll see.
It's true. And like, I think, I don't know. I think 3D rendered Mario just sells well. And this is that. Also, gotta shout out the fact that he's still all a little short and stubby, and so are all the characters, and that's great. I heard some other people saying things to the effect of like, it's just fun that Nintendo feels confident enough to be weird enough with Mario that, like in that 5+ years ago, they probably wouldn't have. They would have like cleaned him up and made him look like a proper Mario render and like a really straightforward kind of thing. And that now they're like, no, like that's the way he is in this game. And that's just really nice.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean, I agree that it's nice, but I don't know if I agree that they like 5 years ago, they wouldn't have done this.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, maybe not 5 years more. I think, maybe it was more like the Wii U days in that kind of era, which is now more than 5 years ago at this point. But yeah. And I don't know either, for what it's worth.
But I'll play it.
Yeah. It looks really good. I'm also curious. Yeah, Mitch texted me earlier and was like, I wonder how this fares alongside Paper Mario, and that like, what are the differentiating factors and stuff like that. And the little bits that I know, it seems like this is just more RPG than Paper Mario ever has been, sort of a thing. So, just want to see kind of what that all looks like. But I'll probably just avoid playing it or looking into it much at all, so that I can experience it for the first time and when it happens. So that's coming out. That's like, in some ways, their big holiday game. I mean, it's not their big holiday game, but it's in the November slot as opposed to the October slot, which is a game we'll get to a little bit later. But that's like a little bit interesting as well.
More and more is becoming like a big slot for them.
Which one? The October slot? Yeah. You're probably right, because like Mario Odyssey was in the October slot. Yep. Luigi's Mansion was in the October slot. I've got a spreadsheet. We can find out right now every year's October games. I'm gonna do it too. So give me 7 seconds. Okay, Mario Odyssey, October 2017. The World Ends With You Final Remix in 2018. It was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee in November instead. Oh, never mind. Take that back. Super Mario Party in October as well. Yeah. October 10th. So that, and then their big game was Smash, but obviously that was in December, so they obviously just needed as much time as they could to
Smash
finish that up
or whatever. Whenever, and it'll sell.
Yeah, 100%. Luigi's Mansion 3 in 2019 was their October game. Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors. Yeah. Oh no, take that back. Again, that was November. I read the numbers wrong. Pikmin 3 and Mario Kart Live Circuit, because Super Mario 3D All-Stars was in September. Okay. So 2020, was 2020. So take that with the grain of 2020.
Yep.
In 2021, Metroid Dread and Mario Party Superstars. And those are, and then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl in November. So that's like Pokemon's time.
Yeah, that's Pokemon.
Pretty often.
They used to shuffle between like the November and like March for some reason. Pokemon games.
That's so funny.
March.
I wonder. Yeah, and it just seems like at this point they've just got the November slot like on lock every year.
Yeah.
So I guess we know when the DLC is probably coming out. One of them in any case.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times it feels like Nintendo values like the later slots less. Like Xenoblade. Like Xenoblade games come out in like December. You know, it was like them being like, I mean, we care about it, but we don't need to give you that much time before Christmas. You know, it's like this is a game they feel like in the like October slot, this is a game people will save for to get for Christmas, and this is a game that the hardcore fans in the like December and like November slot that the hardcore fans will know to spend their Christmas money on, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, maybe also it's stock things where like they, for Black Friday, want to have as many in stores as possible for the October games and stuff like that. And then, you know, other ones just like, it's after Black Friday. So people will buy it. That's that.
Yep.
Yeah. So after Super Mario RPG, which again coming out November, and I think looks phenomenal. We found out a little bit more. It was like it was a Mario time.
Yes, the Mario Direct.
Yeah, because you know Mario movie came out, and now we need some news about it.
It's too bad Mario's not big anymore. You know, we weren't going to get any big games.
What a shame. It's basically an indie.
Yeah, we're just getting a bunch of indies that, you know, Switch Death Store.
Man, should we talk about, I mean, we can talk about it when we get to the last one, but I mean, you've seen the conversations also, I assume, about like basically that like Mario stuff is like, it's on an indie budget, and blah, or you can do that on an indie budget, blah, blah, that kind of stuff going around.
I didn't see any of that, but I thought I have thoughts on Mario Wonder. We'll get to.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to talk about all those things. But the next thing after this was the Princess Peach game, which is interesting.
Honestly, way more excited for this than Mario Wonder. Like significantly more excited for this. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited for this, but I don't know that I'd say more than the one thing that's interesting to me about it. It feels
like it has higher potential to feel different. Is my big thing.
Totally.
Like Mario Wonder, again, we'll get to it, but it just seems less exciting to me right now.
Interesting.
Maybe that will change when the game comes out, but right now it's like, do they not even have?
I don't feel that way. So that'll be we'll talk about that. So with this one, the one thing that I think is interesting about it. So yeah, it's Princess Peach game. Awesome. That's great. And it, you know, is going to be coming out next year. We'll find out more about it. All that stuff. Cool. It seems to all take place on a stage, and like, that's cool. I just gameplay wise, I don't know what that'll look like or feel like or whatever, you know, because like, does that feel kind of claustrophobic in some ways, or do they just kind of let it, you know, suspension of disbelief? The stage goes on forever and forever, you know, those kinds of things. So yeah, I'll just be interested to see like functionally how that works and supports a whole game, if the whole game does take place on a stage. I believe they can do it, obviously, but just am curious about that kind of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of why I think it's exciting, because like they haven't done that. So like, this is a new thing. So it feels like it could like have fun gameplay moments that don't happen in regular Mario games. Plus the fact that it's not coming out this year, like despite that, where it feels like that's like you would think that would be like a smaller scale thing, in theory,
right?
It seems like it's a bigger game than that, which is cool. And like the first Princess Peach game, albeit problematic, it's a cool game.
Yeah.
This game's fun. So I hope that this game's also cool and fun.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. I think it's super cool. Just curious the like lore things that'll come out of this too around Princess Peach. Maybe maybe this taps into like a little bit of the origin story thing from the movie.
Yeah.
I doubt it,
Yeah,
but
no,
you know,
I doubt it.
maybe. But yeah, I do think the stage play thing is fun because they can. I also don't think they will do this, but they could, and it would be neat. Is like it looks like everything's kind of props that's around, you know, but there could be a breaking the fourth wall kind of not literally. Less so with us, more like breaking the other three walls, and that like things change. And it's like, oh, now this is the outside, you know, whatever. Sort of a Truman Show sorts of vibes where everything's contained, and then suddenly it's not anymore. Like that would be a fun little twist. Yeah, exactly. So they could do that. I don't think they will, but anything's possible.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, it does look really cool. Saw some conversation too about like, is this the first next gen something game that we've seen? In that, like, they didn't announce really anything about it other than it's coming in 2024. So like, it could be that this is like the Switch 2 game or something like that. And here's my thoughts on it. Is it's definitely coming to Switch, and then like I think whenever the successor thing happens is there will be cross-gen games for a while. So like
I'm just tired of that.
Irrelevant.
I'm so tired of it because people grasp at straws to say that about everything. Tears of the Kingdom, this looks impossible. Look at the clouds. They can't, the Switch can't do these clouds, you know?
Yeah, and my Switch hasn't been playing it for about 70 hours. Yeah, I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. Whatever's next will come out when it needs to come out. But at this point, whatever's next is not going to come out like pending the current like active fan base's desire, because like they already have you. They got you. You already want to buy the next thing. So they you know, it's like while they can still sell more Switches to people that they think they can sell more Switches to, that's what they're going to do. And then they'll get that guaranteed money when they need it, you know, or want it.
Yep.
It's like we don't need it yet.
It's true. So there's that. But what we do need, apparently, is Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon on the Switch coming next year. So yeah, remastered. Again, they're trying to milk the Mario cow, milk the Mario elephant, as it were. And so here's Luigi's Mansion 2 coming.
Why didn't they should have just did both.
100%.
Yeah, like we have 3. Now I have 2 and 3, but not 1. I would have thought that they would have did 1 first.
Honestly, saying, and especially because, like, I mean, unless that's like, you know, by the time we find out more about this, they'll be like, oh, actually, we're also doing 1 or something, you know, which
that would be so
they
weird.
Probably just have announced it now. Very much so. Like, unless they do that, it's both of them are on the 3DS, like, so they presumably run in the same engine. And so, like, not to say that, like, because you port one game, the other one is like immediate, but like,
yeah, like,
come on, like,
not like a drag and drop thing, but like,
but man, certainly like, not, you know, anything massive compared to at least, you know, brand new games or anything like that. So yeah, I feel like a Pikmin 1 and 2 kind of situation would have made a whole lot more sense here than just bringing 2 over. I mean, also, the only thing I can think
feels like just like this is just a straight port, basically. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think they could have made this. I mean, and people are gonna get it anyway. I don't know how much it costs or anything like that. I'm
guessing like 40. Probably
they could have did 1 and 2. They could have did that.
Yep. And like, okay, so running through the scenarios, in theory, maybe they could be doing a full remake of 1, and it's like, you know, getting the proper deluxe you know, whatever, and it's going to look like 3 or something like that. Also, don't see that happening just because it's a short game. Like, it doesn't, you know, then buying it for full price when you've bought 3 for full price, and you know, 3 just has a lot more to offer than 1, even though 1's great, it's charming and all that. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then it's weird to have I understand with Pikmin, for example, porting Pikmin 3 first because it was the most recent game, and it's a Wii U game, and it's HD, and it gives like good representation of of that and stuff. And so for this one, having 3, and then it's just weird to just have just 2. Like even Metroid, like we have Metroid Prime 1 now. And that makes sense because it's the first one.
It's the first one.
It's so funny. I mean, I'm happy for, I'll probably pick it up, I'd guess. But
I mean, I definitely think that Luigi's like if they were only going to do one of them, Dark Moon is the better game, like significantly. Like the first Luigi's Mansion is just like that's like a game that like Star Fox 64 fans would like because it's very small. Right. It is very like very small.
I think I beat it in like 4 sittings or something like that at some point, and just of like an hour each.
Yeah, I was about to say you could probably beat it in 1.
If you know what you're doing, for sure. Yeah.
2 is better. So yeah,
there you go. I've played 1, I haven't played 2, so I have no opinions there, but there it is. So there's that, and then going into like some third-party kind of stuff. The Batman Arkham trilogy has been rumored for a really long time. The one thing I'll say about this is,
Ninja
what'd you say?
Cop. I said, Cop,
yeah,
the game,
that's right.
Ninja Cop.
This is one that like I think any high praised games and like any games in this kind of caliber or whatever coming to Switch are always great because there's plenty of people who only have a Switch and have wanted to play games like this or whatever. So like that's awesome. I will say that I think as in terms of like excitement and stuff, like this same game would have been
way more
received as a lot more exciting
3 years ago.
Yes, exactly. And then now it's just like
5 years ago, honestly, 5 years ago, it would have popped off.
100%. I mean, in the Doom era or whatever, when Doom was coming, it's like also Batman Arkham Trilogy. What,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this, it's great that it's coming, and that's awesome for anybody who wants to play it. Like I've never played these games, and I hear they're really good. They're not the ones I'm going to make time for as compared to some other games, but
I only played Arkham Knight, and that game sucks.
There you go.
It's Batmobile Simulator. It's freaking but yeah, I like that.
Nice. So there it is. Next up, Gloomhaven. All I know is that Mitch loves this game. I mean, I don't know about loves, just enjoys it a lot.
Tears of the Kingdom is messed up.
That's right. So this has been on other things. I think it's basically a card game or a board game that's been adapted into a video game, and very well from what I hear. So I know he plays it with. I think it's like cooperative too. I'm pretty sure. Something like that.
About this, I was like, "You like board games? Do you know what this is?" And he was like, "No, I don't know what this is." So it was good to know somebody knows what it is.
Yep. So I'll ask. Actually, because I don't think Mitch watched the direct, so I'll ask him more about it. And maybe actually, does it say anywhere if there is crossplay? I don't think it said it. But that'd be interesting to know. Yeah. Like if you can play it, because it's online, like you play online with other people or whatever. But yeah, I don't think it says. Oh, well, comes out September 18th. Next up, Just Dance. Next up, Silent Hope.
True.
I couldn't care less. Silent Hope. I thought it was Dragalia Lost at first. It's not. It's a dungeon crawler, something chibi, something. That's all my opinions on that. Faith Farm.
This is like
we've seen this lots of times before.
That we've seen this game.
So true. Ashley was really interested in it. So there's that.
Is this the first time she saw this?
I technically no, but I think it's the first time she just remembered it. Or, yes, something like that. So, but then again, I don't know to what degree this over Paleo or over this, that, or the other, whatever. So we'll come back to it but it's a farming sim, but also like multiplayer and dungeon crawly and stuff like that. So depending on how it does those things, I think, we might have fun with it together, but yep. Chibi fairy kind of stuff. There's that. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. The first one's been on sale at some points recently. I'm going to check how far it is on sale right now. Hot Wheels because I've been meaning to get it, and keep forgetting. Hot Wheels Unleashed. It's on sale for $10, so I'll probably get the first one and then not get the second one. But I've heard good things.
I thought that you already had this game because
I have Cruisin' Blast, and because that one went on deeper sale.
I just remember you talking about this game before, the first one.
Yep.
So it was like, like in my head when I saw this, I was like, Parker said this game's good.
I've heard it's good. So I mean, for what it's worth, this one looks pretty good too. I really liked Hot Wheels as a kid, so. And I also had a Hot Wheels video game that I played. I really
liked them, but I had them.
I don't know. It was a fun little time. So there's that. Yeah. Man, I'm watching this trailer now, and it looks. I mean, I don't know if visually it'll look like this on the Switch, because whatever. But it looks very, very nice. But racing games often look pretty nice.
Yeah, you're just going in a straight line. Like,
I mean, I guess also I think this might just be a CG trailer. Yeah, for sure.
Could. I'm looking at it now. Probably. Yeah, this is CG.
Yep. So there's that, but what a fun time. Next up, Manic Mechanics. This is Overcooked with Cars. That's it. Moving on. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope DLC.
Please buy this game.
I know.
Please. That's all. That's the vibes I got from this.
Yeah, 100%. It is. I mean, yeah, the game just didn't sell as well as they wanted. I'm curious how well it sold at all. If we'll ever find out.
I mean, it was that whole thing that Nintendo was like, "Hey, man, maybe only make one of these per generation." And he was like,
was that a real?
Yeah. Yes. Yves Guillemot. He had an interview or something, and he was like, "Yeah, Nintendo advised us to only make one per generation, but hopefully we can like optimize this game later for their next console." And that everybody's running off like with articles about that, where it's like Ubisoft teases Nintendo's next console.
How did I miss
Ubisoft
all of that?
Confirms that it's the Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Yeah, no, it's again, the game looks great. I've heard it's great and stuff, but I just I played the last one 5 years ago and have other things to play. So, and I think a lot of people are in the same camp.
Yeah.
So is what it is. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince.
They've had enough. They're like, Pokemon's been biting us long enough. Now we're biting back.
That's right. So, I mean, it is, it's a monster collecting game. I know that much. And then is it turn-based combat? Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
What all do we know about this?
It's another game that looks like a Dragon Ball game that's not a Dragon Ball game. That's about all I know. That's the extent of it.
I did literally when I first saw it, I was like, Dragon Ball. Oh, it's Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And then I saw a slime and I was like, oh, okay.
I thought that it was the sand game when this first started. It's like Sandland or something like that. It was at the Xbox conference, I think.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I thought it was this at first. I mean, that at first, but it was Dragon Quest, which also checks out. I'm not getting it.
It does. No, yeah. We'll see. So there's that. All right, getting back to some Nintendo stuff. Pikmin 4 got a pretty substantial trailer. It was 4 minutes.
Yeah, luckily not as long as everyone thought.
I feel like this was the perfect, it was enough that we got some good information, but it felt like also it was moving pretty quickly and it didn't feel like it's because sometimes even the things they say is, and now let's take a look at blah, blah, blah. And then you kind of feel yourself sink into here we go.
Be one of
but
these.
They just presented it as a trailer.
And I think I think me and Dan were talking about this and we've definitely talked about it multiple times.
Yeah, for sure.
RPGs, they spend
100%.
so much time on. so much. I don't think anybody wants this much information on this video game, including the people that are excited for it.
The thing is, sometimes I don't even know if they spend like that much more actual time than they did, like 5 minutes instead of 4. But it feels slow paced.
I don't even mean like quantity. I mean, they spend way more time than they should.
Yes,
because
exactly.
RPGs are in the same like boat as I feel a lot of indie games are, where it's like, this is probably great for the people that want to play this game, but it is not doing what you think it's doing for everybody else. You know, like, and even for the people that do want to play it, it's like it's going to click for them when they play it. Versus like seeing it in a trailer, it's not going to be like, man, these systems really look like they're fun to play with. You know, it's like, it's not that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but Pikmin, it's
new Pikmin. We got one.
We did a glow Pikmin. You can go out at night now, which we'd already seen at some point. I don't remember when exactly.
It was like during one of those like vibe trailers. Oh, it was. I think it was also like the one that we saw the clock or whatever. So yeah.
Also in this, and they didn't say whether, I'm making assumptions here, but there's a Dandori battle, which is a thing where you find a person, a captain, or whatever, and then there's a bad guy, and then you do little like Pikmin battle kind of things. I have to assume that there is an online multiplayer version of this.
Yeah, I mean, and that is cool. 3, so
did they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if it's online or not. I think it's online on Switch. I think on Pikmin 3 on Wii U is probably still in there, and on Switch they say
Pikmin 3 online multiplayer. I'm looking. Is there online co-op? Okay, well, it's not online co-op.
Yeah, it's not co-op. It's like a battle thing.
That is, whatever. Interesting. Oh. It mentions that Bingo Battle it has online rankings for mission mode, but no online for Bingo Battle or story. But I think that looks like that's for the
Wii U version.
Online co-op not supported. I guess I don't think there was online. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mess with that at all. Pikmin. I just played the regular game.
Right, yeah. But for what it's worth, this seems like a really good like mode to do online with, where it's just like short form. It's at least in the example they give here, 4-minute long, collectathon things. And that's pretty good.
It's crazy that the new Pikmin are dead Pikmin. That's insane.
True. I wonder if one of the ways you can get their numbers up is by yours getting
if you die, if you kill your Pikmin.
Yeah. But it is cool. Yeah, the way they showed them, like doing a little like ghost bomb or whatever's going on at some point. It's them charging and they all charge at once, and I don't know. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that. And I like down.
Yeah. I was going to get a voucher for this game. So it's good to know, I guess, that I need to buy more vouchers.
Yep. No, it looks really good. We also found out that this is made in Unreal Engine 4, which doesn't matter at all. But like, oh, interesting. Now we know.
No, it does matter. You saw the tweet. You saw the tweet with the guy being like, or Dexerto being like, which engine is the best engine?
Oh my goodness. Yep. It's a train engine. Because it goes choo-choo real good.
Yeah, and chuggas. Varying amounts.
So many chuggas. Let's see. Some other little things that I like about this is I like the idea that the nighttime is more dangerous and stuff. That's just a fun little thing. What I don't know
is the nighttime more dangerous? I don't know if the nighttime's more dangerous, because nighttime before was just an end state.
True. Nighttime is more dangerous than daytime. Yeah, exactly. So, but it's fun. Yeah, you can go out at night and it's more dangerous than day. Yeah. But curious if, okay. It looks like, I mean, unless maybe they only took out glow Pikmin, I'm going to look at other nighttime stuff. Are glow Pikmin the only ones you can have
I
at
think
night?
it's the only ones you can have at night. That's also why I think that they're definitely dead Pikmin.
Yeah. I think you're right. The lore. But that's just a fun thing. So what I don't know
That's
is
a fun thing that you just get a bunch of dead Pikmin.
like, do you have to, is there a loading screen between daytime and nighttime? Is one thing I wonder. Where like, if you go back, bring all your Pikmin to, you know, like, all right, get back up in there. It's getting to be nighttime or whatever now. Then is it like, all right, that was daytime. Do you want to do nighttime or whatever? Or can you just like stay out and then whatever happens, happens? I hope that it's the second. It's not like that big of a deal either way.
If you, it's like, so it's like, all right, here's the thing. You're like exploring and you're on the planet. You got your Pikmin and it's about to be nighttime. And they're like, yo, it's going to be nighttime. You got 40 Pikmin with you or whatever.
Cutscene happens.
And then all your Pikmin die and they turn into glow Pikmin. And then it's like, all right, you got 40 glow Pikmin. And then you got to like replenish those ones. And like, I messed up.
It is. So we'll see how messed up they choose to be. Yeah. I do like also there's indoor stuff now. And that's just like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibes are just always kind of fun. Feeling like, ooh, I'm little and this table's big. So that's neat. And there's a demo for this also coming out next week on Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday.
Nice.
So check that out if you want. I know I probably will.
I'll probably stream it.
Yeah. So it's fun. It feels like, I don't know how to put this exactly, but like it feels like they've refined this to like just a completely fully realized package or something that the other games never had quite done. Again, I haven't played 2.
I still
so it could be that.
I mean,
you can now.
Yeah, I can.
I remembered I have 2 physically back there, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna hook up my Wii to do that. So, but yeah, it's, like just something about like, 3 already was quite fleshed out where it had like side mission things
what I'm
and
scared
side
of.
modes and all that.
I mean, it's good. It will be good for 4, and it was good for 3. But that's why I'm kind of like, do I want to get 1 and 2? Because I feel like 1 and 2 are just going to be bad versions of what I played. And even 3, like I like 3, but I don't like 3 that much. Where it's like, you know what? I want to play a bad version of this. So I'm like,
I don't think it'll be worth it to play. I mean, like Pikmin 1 was the first one that I played, so it was fun for that reason. And it's like, then there's things that people still like more about Pikmin 1 or 2 or whatever based on like how the day cycles work and how like it's more stressful because you this, that, or the other, those kinds of things.
I bet those people are nerds. They're like, this Pikmin game was more strategic and I could feel more like a real RTS. And that was like, I don't even care about that.
It's less at least from 1 to 3, it's less about the minute to minute things you're doing as far as like it's stressful or whatever, because like it's Pikmin 3 is more complicated in terms of you have multiple people, you can tell them where to go and all that, but it's like, there's more elements in that, so it's more complicated in that way. But in Pikmin 1 you only have 30 days in game to do all the things you need to do, and so like I was up down to the wire and fighting the final boss on the 30th day, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to reload this and beat this boss, even if I don't have enough Pikmin. I'm just gonna have to make it work. And I did, and it worked out, but it wasn't like the true ending or anything because I didn't get all the parts, just I got the amount that I needed or whatever it was. Whereas in Pikmin 3 it's just about collecting juice, and as long as you got juice, you're good. So like
you got juice,
and so that's like it's not as stressful, and so there's some people that really like the stress of having a limited thing. I don't. That feels Majora's Masky in a way that I don't want.
It feels like I guess I'll talk about that again later. But there's something about games about mundane things that a lot of times they're fun, because it's like in theory there's certain mundane things that could be fun if you take all the like painful parts, or or like just tedious parts, or, like like farming or whatever is a good example.
Sure.
It's like if I don't actually have to wait like 3 months to actually be able to like see the literal fruits of my labor or whatever, like it'd be better. And also having to like continuously maintain this thing that you don't get any sort of like reward from for such a long time. It's like, But in a farming sim, you just wait 10 fake days that are like a max 24 minutes long, and it's like, look at that, I got a whole farm of trees and stuff. It's like it doesn't work like that, real life. So it's like adding more stuff like that, like stress into a game. I never understood the value of that, because it's like that's most of the reason why I'm playing this game specifically, is because it's like this usually stressful thing in a play box. It's like it's a very controlled, like sanitized version of the thing that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm all for difficulty option. Like if the thing is just that, like, I will do it too easily because I'm good at this thing because I've done it before now, then like, sure. And just there can be modes where those kinds of things happen, but like forcing
that's the worst part. Is most of the time when people have complaints like this, those games have that there. It's easy for you to do yourself, like Pokemon, right? It's like, I can't believe that they going back to Sword and Shield, they put the wild area in there. You don't have to go there. I promise you don't have to go there. You don't have to grind your Pokemon to level 80 just because they allow you to do it. You never got to do it. As I promise you don't got to do it. It's just like that. It's like, if you think the game's better if you don't get all the juice you could possibly get, keep it to only being able to stockpile one juice at a time. There you go.
Yep.
There's your stress.
There it is. So yeah, there's that. But it looks good, Actually, I'll have some thoughts on that when we're talking about games we're playing a little bit later, on the things you just said. So yeah, but Pikmin 4, there it is. And then right after that, we learned that Pikmin 1 and 2 released digitally.
It was the available now. It was the Metroid Prime 1 of this showcase, which also makes it even more weird that we only are getting Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Exactly. It's weird. So yeah, but we got that, and yeah, Pikmin 1 and 2, they're out, and you can, Pikmin 1 really only does have red, blue, and yellow Pikmin. That's so funny. You can go pick them up now. They're $30 each or $50 for the two together. And then in September, they're going to come out physically.
Yep.
So, which in my little spreadsheet thing of like games that are coming out when, like technically that fills the September gap, all things considered, because there was a September gap, but I'm just going to put it as September just to make my brain feel happy, even though, it is what it is. And then in that case, I kind of have to change Metroid Remastered as well. I'm going to leave it. So there's Pikmin 1 and 2. All right. And then there wasn't actually a sizzle reel in this one, but there was kind of like a couple that they went through a little bit more quickly. So we will do the same. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. Many people are very excited about this. I don't have strong feelings. Do you?
Boo. These games suck. These games stink. The one in the first pack. Now, if this means we get two, which I would assume so, because if they're going to call it one, and I don't even think they announced two for every other platform, but two, I'm seeing rumors that two has friggin' Phantom Pain, which that's the only Metal Gear game that I played and liked. Peace Walker, I think it's called. I hear good things about that game, and I hear it's like the precursor to Phantom Pain. I'm here for that. I'll play those.
Is Phantom Pain the Platinum developed one?
No, That's Resurgence or
5?
something like that. No, Phantom Pain is 5.
Phantom Pain is 5. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Phantom Pain's the one that Kojima didn't get to finish or something like that because Konami, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not part of that situation. I have no idea who is actually in the wrong, and I don't have a parasocial relationship with Kojima, so I can't speak on that. But I can say I think most Metal Gear games are cringe, but I think that those specific games that are going to be in part 2 allegedly are cool. So I want to play those. I'm skipping this.
So there it is. Yeah. There's that. Next up, Vampire Survivors. I played this on Xbox Game Pass, and it is fun and addictive. At this point, like it's one of those things where like at some point you kind of get to the kind of like Diablo, you get to like the top of the gameplay loop, and so the ways that you make it harder again is kind of like equivalent to bullet spongy things to some degree, or like you make, you know, it's artificial challenge a little bit. So I kind of, you know, got to that point, at least in that one. I'd have to unlock that stuff again if I wanted to. So all I'd say, probably not going to play it because I kind of feel like I saw everything there is to see, you know, even though I technically didn't, but in terms of like most of it. But that said, if you haven't played this, I think it's like $5 typically. And it's very addictive and fun.
This?
I'd guess. Vampire Survivors Switch. No, that can't be right.
So what?
I'm waiting for it load. Releasing into okay.
Oh.
It doesn't have a price listed yet. So the
they just
placeholder price to 70.
Oh my god.
Because of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's very funny. No, I'd imagine it's going to be $5 as well, or I mean maybe 10 or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's good fun. So if that kind of thing sounds like up your alley, then check it out. Next up, Headbangers Rhythm Royale. Cool.
I might play
it.
It looks fun.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
It's like rhythm game Fall Guys.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I probably won't play it. Is it free to play? I don't feel like paying money for this. Okay, cool. There it is. Next up, this one I did think was quite cool looking. Penny's Big Breakaway.
Oh, this is a Sonic game, but not.
Yeah.
It's made by the Sonic Mania team. I might play that too. Early 2024. Yeah, so depends on what else comes out. But I like Sonic Mania, so I'll probably like this game.
Yep. And it's just like cool 3D platformer stuff. You got a yo-yo, and you can like do neat little motion things and use the yo-yo for, you know, whatever. It feels very similar to Mario Odyssey with Cappy kinds of ish, you know, sort of platforming options and whatever, but you can like power it up and stuff too. And I don't know, everything that I see in it just feels like if it's done well, would be really good. And I trust that Christian Whitehead will probably do a good job at it because again, yeah, Sonic Mania and all the other stuff, you know, but also I could easily, you know, these same concepts, a team could just mess them up.
This could be Sonic Mania, but it could also be Balin's Wonder World or whatever.
Exactly. 100%. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. But I think it looks really cool and I'm here for it. And like, there's just not that many 3D platformers these days. So the good ones you kind of want to get into.
Yeah.
You don't care about this at all, but next wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe courses are coming. So Ashley and I'll play those when they come out. And with Petey Piranha and Comic and Wiggler,
which is stupid. They still no Dig Hong. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Stupid. Game sucks.
So yeah, I do think again, in the same like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of style, like in Pikmin, being little in a big old bathroom, that's just a fun, nice little thing. So I'm excited to play that and see that. But that's about it on that. Next up, Star Ocean, the second story R.
That sounds like some RPG stuff.
Oh, 100% it is. But the art style is done in a really neat way. I think it's blending like 3D environments, like, regular 3D environments that look quite nice with like pixel sprite based characters.
I saw somebody
feels pretty good.
crapping all over this game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever see this guy, Lutube. He's like a Pokemon guy. He's like a Pokemon preservation guy. He's like always talking about how different Pokemon scans are done terribly and the colors are all wrong, and 3D models were the biggest scourge of Pokemon's history. And
oh no,
he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
So he was like, somebody like posted this, and they were like, they should make a Pokemon game like this, and he's like, absolutely not. This will look terrible. It's a blurred mess, and they would make the beautiful Pokemon sprites look like garbage.
Oh my goodness. No, I think it would be super fun to do that. And like, instead of doing Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl as what they were, do a cool thing like that. That'd be a neat little thing. And also, I don't know, specific game aside, I think that, this art style is cool. And I think it would apply well for Pokemon. So
the only thing I think would not work with Pokemon is like the color palette of these games is usually like gray and like misty.
It's got some greenery in here, but it's definitely you're totally right that there's a lot of like kind of like light brown tans kind of colors and stuff, and it's not as vibrant as I would like it to be for especially Pokemon. Even for this, I think I feel kind of that way.
I'm trying to put it on the screen, but it doesn't want to be full screen.
No worries. But yeah, it looks cool. So there it is. There's that. All right, how many do we have left? Okay, we got 3 left, and 2 of them are big, and then one of them's a little quick one. Actually, here, I'll do the quick one first. Little amiibos. We got a Zelda and a Ganondorf amiibo.
This one was crazy. Like, this was another one where it's like, not a please buy this game, because that's more desperate, but they're like, hey, man. Like I was looking at because they started doing the Nintendo Direct like sections of the eShop or whatever, like after the and Tears of the Kingdom was on there, and it's like I think it's like first on the list, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, is this a Nintendo Direct game really? They were like, you know what? We've been putting it in a bunch of directs. We should probably put it in this direct. The thing that's crazy is like when they first started this, it's like, wait, are we getting DLC? And then we just got freaking amiibo announcements. Like, stupid, dumb. Which, for what it's worth, like I appreciate that they're not announcing the DLC yet. As well, depends on how they would want to announce the DLC, if there even is DLC. If there is. Yeah, like for all we know, there's just not. And the whole concept was that the DLC for Breath of the Wild was what it was, and then they were like, "Ooh, we want to do more than there is here." But I think that's like me personally. I would rather they like at least confirm whether they're doing DLC or not, because I know last time, like with Breath of the Wild, like the DLC canonically takes place before you beat Ganon. Yes. So like if I know there's no DLC, I'll feel less like pressure to save it, Yeah. And I can just be like, all right, I'll beat it when I feel like beating it, even more so now. Whereas like even if I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm winding down on this game, I might beat Ganon. There's a big part of me that doesn't want to do that. Because I feel like I do that and then tomorrow they're like, yo, DLC, and again, Ganon is alive. You gotta prepare to beat Ganon. It's like that's the whole premise of DLC. That's like especially the Master Cycle Zero in the DLC. I got it, and it was like the last thing I did. Yeah, and I was like, I've explored the world. Like it's done. I don't need this anymore. So that was. It was a cool thing, but I just like I couldn't use it really at all, and so that's a lot of what
similar kind of thing. To me, if there's, I could be wrong, but if they don't announce any DLC in like this, September kind of time, assuming they do a direct then I would probably guess that there's not. But I think it makes sense that, it's been a little over a month that the game's been out. And while a lot of people, we're starting to see more and more people finish it, that's like the capital G game, core base that's just raced through it, because there's other games to play and because all their friends are beating it and stuff like that. So I think the majority of people have not beaten it, all things considered. Yeah. So
I mean, most people just don't beat games ever. So
also that, yeah. So I think it was wise to save it if they have it at all. But even then, we'll see. We'll find out.
We shall see.
We shall. But yes, I also had the exact same thoughts on that. But yeah, the last two ones we got WarioWare Move It, which is
hype for this. This is probably, I don't know. I think this is probably my favorite announcement because I know for sure what it is. Whereas like Peach is just like, I think I'm going to really like it. But I tweeted, I'm like, yo, this is cool because it's like a real one. It's like a real WarioWare game. Whereas like WarioWare Get It Together is like kind of not. Like, I had fun with it. It was cool or whatever, but it's like way less of a WarioWare game because most of the thing that's like that makes a WarioWare game feel like a WarioWare game is like the prompt is, hey, do this thing. You don't know what you're doing yet, but just do it. And with the WarioWare Get It Together, it's like you at least have the comfort of being like, all right, well, I know that I need to press the A button and move forward, and my character is going to do this. It just the only real question is positioning with that game. But in this game, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what button you're pressing. You don't know if you're pressing a button, And I think I prefer that for this style of game personally.
I agree. Yeah, just watching this, like doing, especially like certain characters in Get It Together, also just weren't fun at all. Like the UFO kind of one, or like having to float around and do things, like anything that's floaty like that. It's just, I don't know, like doing minutia isn't in like stressful minutia isn't very fun. Whereas for this, it's like you're doing stressful things that are big and like, and something about that just feels more, approachable, and if nothing else.
I think that's like, it also exaggerates the parts that you don't like. I think because like it's one thing to like be playing like the boss rush kind of like I'm on this character's like storyline or whatever, right? And there's like one or two micro games that you don't like. You are making it so that every micro game played with these characters you don't like. That's it's stupid. But again, luckily they're making a new one that's good because they've been doing the like Metroid, like the like pre Samus Returns Metroid game thing where it's like let's try weird stuff. They've been doing that with WarioWare. Like they did freaking Game and Wario. They did this WarioWare game, Get It Together, and now here we are with a real one. And there's
it just looks neat. Was there so this is like literal successor to Smooth Moves on the Wii. Which was there multiplayer in
turns out agree. It's the best one.
Oh, well, there you go. Makes sense. Was there multiplayer on that at all?
I think there's multiplayer in all of them.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't. Nice. It's not online multiplayer.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure
of
there's
course.
Multiplayer in all of them to some degree.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, there's the multiplayer being in this. I think it looks like fun multiplayer, and that's nice because the one in Get It Together, just like
it's not good.
Wasn't very fun multiplayer in my opinion. So, but there's like a little board game thing in here that you could do with 4 players, and that's a nice stand-in for Mario Party stuff, but with these kinds of mechanics. So, it was a good announcement. This one looks really nice. Yeah, and then the last one that I think I'll wait to say which one was my most favorite because I'm not for sure, but I think it might have been. I think it was probably this one. I'm going to say it was this one. Was Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and I mean, having vaguely alluded to your opinions on it and stuff, I'm curious to hear them.
Yes, I mean, this game's cool, but I'm also tight. Because it's like, it just looks like new Super Mario Bros. It just looks like that. Like, I get that they have more expressive animations and stuff like that, but it still looks like a new Super Mario Bros. Game.
Yeah, that's so funny because I do not think so. But I mean, like, I get it in some regards for sure. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard for me to fully separate look and feel because it like looks wise, like from a screenshot. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know movement wise, but just like vibe wise and like how the world feels, you know, that kind of thing. More so than like how the gameplay feels, or whatever. Yeah, I think if looking at a static screenshot, I think I would agree. But like just based on everything that's happening or whatever, I don't. And so because I would have been really disappointed if I felt like it was just like more new Super Mario Bros. Stuff. But I feel like this is like very much taking a step in a different direction and in like the best way possible.
Yeah, it definitely feels like to me like this could be Mario Maker DLC. Like they like I saw Andre Seeger's post like a thing like on the extra modes or whatever for Mario Maker where it had the logo and he was like like well about it. I think that's super feasible for this game and that's kind of disappointing to me. I feel like
I mean I will push back on that by quite a lot in that I think like all of that again, that's really fun. I mean, he makes levels, you know, and stuff like that. But I've at least watched a lot of Mario Maker stuff, and like so many of these things. I mean, for what it's worth, also there's things in this that's just like new mechanics that don't exist in Mario Maker. So that's a thing, you know, and they could port some other things. But there's also so many like the Wonder Seeds and all the things that happen during that are like it feels like, and I don't know this for sure, but as opposed to like the new Super Mario Bros. Levels where there's kind of like a set tool set that they can use and they kind of mix and match it. And so you'll like see certain things again or whatever. This gives me vibes that there will be a level, for example, that does kind of like in New Super Mario Bros. U, the only like particularly unique level is that like Van Gogh level where it's like, oh wow, this level is different. And then all the other ones aren't really that different. This feels like there's a lot of levels, I think, that will have things that only that level does, and that's it in terms of like the wonder something or whatever. So it feels very like distinctly, you know, handcrafted in a way that I like a lot. And like, I mean, also the animations are just nice and goofy and have just lots of personality that new Super Mario Bros. Stuff does not have at all.
I mean, I think that's kind of the only thing that separates it to me. Is that like the animations are better for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, to me, this feels like we're like a 3D Mario game. You're liable to get new mechanics for Mario, the character, and a new Super Mario Bros. Game. You'll get new suits. You'll get new level gimmicks. And that feels like this. It feels like you get new suits, new level gimmicks. There's not really anything that feels different about how Mario platforms. Like if it's just Mario and I'm not using a new suit, what makes this different from a new Super Mario Bros. Game?
I mean, yeah, I guess it would just be specifically the levels. And so do they differentiate themselves enough from the other ones? And that's TBD.
Because again, like I said, I think even new Super Mario Bros. Games do that, where it's like they introduce new gimmicks and within the level that feel different from each other.
Here's, I mean, one thing as far as like new movement things, I don't know if this is in. It's hard to take this out of context, but in the trailer at 1 minute and 51 seconds, Mario and Peach don't seem to have any power-ups that I can tell. but then jump and then use their hats like a paraglider. And if they don't have any if they don't have any power-ups, then like that, I mean, changes a lot to just be able to, have a little paraglider at any given moment. Which again, maybe there's like some level specific thing where it's like, hey, in this level you can do a little paraglider thing, in which case, that changes it. Or, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, time will tell when the game comes out. We'll see in either direction, but I'm feeling very optimistic that it'll feel like weird and goofy in the best way possible. But
I'm gonna get it, and I think it will be fun. But the part you were talking about just passed. I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope it's not what it feels like. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, it does feel like I tweeted. I was like, "This game is New Super Mario Bros. In a trench coat," and I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like that.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Even just the fact that the animations are as lively as they are, I think is just a nice breath of fresh air to me. So
yeah,
all that stuff. So that's the Nintendo Direct. So now let's move into like the overall thoughts and kind of branching thoughts from there.
I think this is a really good Direct. I would give this Direct like a B+, A-. It's really good.
Agreed. I mean, and for what it's worth, I think, we've said a lot of times, like B+ is what most directs seem to aim for and succeed at doing. And so like just another one in, doing that. Cause totally agreed on that. That like, I'm sure they could have added a couple more things, and I'm sure they have more things that they could add, but they didn't have to.
Yeah, they added the right stuff.
And then to, move into the second part of that too, of like that, their whole goal here was outlining the rest of 2023, which we, outside of leaks, for what it's worth, we knew basically nothing about. And then they did it, and now we've got just, I'm pulling up my spreadsheet again to see, how many games did they. So we got Detective Pikachu Returns, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, WarioWare Move It, Super Mario RPG, all just holiday, kind of season games, and Pikmin 1 and 2 that we didn't know about before at all.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The thing is, like, it's crazy just looking at this Direct on like on a list, like just listed out on paper compared to all the other presentations that we got, removed from dates or anything like that. This lineup is on par, if not better, in a lot of ways than what we've gotten. The difference is all of these games, and barring them being super cagey about like the 2024 games, are coming out within the next year.
Yeah.
That's not the case. Like we might not be seeing like Fable until like 2027. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think that means even more, where it's like, we're getting a lot of these like heavy hitter games, and they're all coming out super soon. It's pretty dope to me. I think that elevates it even more. Like I think the only knock that you can give to this Direct is if you hate Mario.
It's true.
If you hate Mario, this Direct wasn't that good for you. But also, if you hate Mario, I think you bought the wrong system, because he's usually
true.
He's usually carrying a lot of the load there with Nintendo games.
And like, yes, agree. And it is funny. I mean, going back to the comparing it to other things, like the Princess Peach game was really the only one that was like, oh, and here's a little tease of this game
that we don't
it'll
know
come
when
out sometime next year. Yeah, like that kind of a thing. In other presentations, you would have gotten as much information, but like that gameplay and a CG trailer, and like spread that same thing way out, where it's like you feel like you're getting more for it. Honestly.
And if it was a Sony presentation, they wouldn't have gave a year.
True. Yeah.
And honestly, we probably would have saw this game 2 years ago if it was a Sony presentation.
Yeah. So it's nuts. Yeah. The fact that is like an outlier where it's like, oh, interesting. There's a Princess Peach game. There's just a year. We don't know its name. Like, huh. All right. Like, wow. Whereas again, that's like the norm for lots of other presentations. So it's, yeah, crazy little time. Okay. So I want to talk about this just because it was, Twitter in the circles, at least that I saw today, were aflutter with basically that like there was nothing AAA or whatever in this, like nothing. There was nothing big, and like
saying like the Mario games, the budget thing, like that whole.
That like, oh, it's Mario. Mario game can be made like it's on like an indie budget or whatever kind of a thing, or like there's Nintendo's really they're really winding down this year, and it's like they're just it's the doldrum bells or whatever, those kinds of vibes, which is just so interesting to me. When 2D Mario, like this game will sell easily 10 million like fast.
For sure,
and then probably 20 million lifetime.
That I don't know about. I mean, I guess it depends on what the life cycle is. Like if the Switch lasts another 2-3 years, for sure, 20 million. But if this is like the last like full calendar year with it, I could see maybe like 15 million.
Yeah. I guess also depends too, like, what the cross-gen kind of situation looks like or whatever, all those kinds of things. But I mean, just in terms of that, there's been, I don't know. Landscape is such a big thing, but like new Super Mario Bros. We sold 30 million and stuff. And so, TBD, but in any case, it's like huge sellers. And, lots of other just good games. And I don't know. It's just so funny that like people are bringing back up, I think even should this game really be $60?
Yeah, I saw
it's
that
like,
too.
Oh my goodness.
I saw people talking about for Mario RPG, where like this game isn't worth $60, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh my
Again,
goodness.
even as somebody like, I don't even know if I want to buy it. It has nothing to do with the cost of the game. It has nothing to do with that. If this game costs $10, I would still be like, I don't know if I want to buy this game, because I don't know if I want to buy a game that I'm literally going to play for an hour on stream and be like, I don't want to play this. Let's go to Smash, everybody. But the game costs whatever it's going to cost, and even in, I mean, especially in situations like this where we can quantifiably show that it is very definitely worth at least $60, because you ain't finding the original game for less than that. Let alone a like spruced up, prettier looking version of the game. Like it is, which even $60.
Like also saw people with opinions of like, man, it's just like cash grab, did the minimal effort for game, blah blah blah.
The minimal
thing,
effort
which
is
like,
when has that become the minimal effort? I thought the minimal effort was the Mario Superstar thing, 64 Galaxy and Sunshine. I thought that was minimal effort. That's not even this. We're just moving the goalposts all over the place.
It really is.
It's Mario Wonder in real life.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Good callback. Man. So that's the Direct. I think it was great, and it's a fun time. And again, it was fun for me, it's just always fun too, for when I'll watch it with Ashley and she's like, oh, I'll play that. And it's like, oh, all these things that we can, end up playing together. And there were several games in here that were that, which also, for what it's worth, if we're talking about like casual game sales kinds of things or whatever, speaks volumes to like who, that lots of people will be interested in many of these games because, so. There it is. That is the Nintendo Direct. We're going to stop. That's moving on.
It happened.
To also, technically, we saw a trailer for Everybody 1-2 Switch earlier in the week, and then we didn't see it in the Direct. I think the game was curious how this pans out.
I think it looks fun.
I think it looks fun for not the people that I end up playing games with. Like, we are lazy, and I think WarioWare is probably the furthest we'll get into doing that kind of thing. But because it's, you know, you're moving at that point, but it's like quick things as opposed to like going all out for stuff. But I also know plenty of people that do love just like getting real goofy playing games, and for that, that's like perfect. And I mean, I tweeted too, like this for like youth groups, for example, is for the 100 people games or whatever, especially, like that's perfect. Or just having people over. But
I mean, I want to say, I think that this is a good game for Ezra.
True. She
might have fun with it. I know that was
You're
the first
probably
game that my oldest niece, she liked. I told that story about she called the Nintendo Switch the 1-2 switch.
That's so true. Yeah, we'll see. Because you're probably right. So there was that. But yes, moving into the next segment, which is games we're playing. Yeah.
What am I playing? I mean, I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like getting to the point. I mean, not even to the point. I think the depths are worse than the rest of the game. Not like drastically worse, but there's a lot of the depths where, like, because you can't see like on the map where the walls are, you can lose a lot of time to just being like, oh well, this is just a dead end. I just climb into the top of this wall and there's nowhere I can go. And that is not fun. So like that's part of it that I'm like I wish that I think the depths would be, at least for me, more fun to traverse through if there was a descend. If I can like go to a shrine and be like, well, I know that there's a light route here, let me descend and go down here. You know, I think that would make them better. But just blindly exploring through them and trying to like climb up a wall and finding out that I just gotta like hug the wall like I'm exploring the freaking the dark cave in Pokemon Red and Blue. It's just.
Do you not like just throw a bunch of bright blooms or whatever?
I do, but I don't have enough. I have like 20 left.
Oh man.
So it's like,
yeah, I guess I think I'm pretty conservative with them, and also just anytime I'm in a cave, and I really like caves, so I go into them a lot.
I like the caves.
And
because the caves don't usually do that.
I've got like 600.
The thing about the depths is like there's literally a ceiling that like you know you can't go anywhere else. So it's like when you're on a wall on the surface, you know there's a top to this, so you can continue to climb. And you know, like, okay, well, I'm going to get somewhere. I'm going to make some type of progress. There's the valley, and I'm going to reach a peak. And the depth, sometimes it's just a valley. and I think that in the same way that like the Sky Islands and without the glider feel like antithetical to like the flow of Breath of the Wild, so do the depths to me. Where it's like climbing, you're like rewarded by the like how hard a climb can be with low stamina, with the fact that it's like, okay, I reached the top and now I can yeet somewhere else and discover something new. That's not really there as much with the depths. And there's moments that are cool. Like when I first found them, like that was the thing that I tweeted about. Where I'm like, "Oh, this is crazy! I didn't even know that this was in the game. This is ridiculous." When there is a flow to it, and it's like, okay, I'm going and I'm like finding more things. It's great, but there are a lot of moments where like I'm reaching dead ends and it makes me not want to go down there, which is kind of like it's like the whole analogy with my PlayStation 5, right? Where it's like it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like I don't play my PlayStation 5 because every time I turn on my PlayStation 5, I get it meets me with some sort of BS, but that happens because I don't keep my PlayStation 5 updated. And you know, and that's why I don't turn it on, because you know, so it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy, which is an annoying loop, but I'll get there eventually, I guess.
No, I feel that with the depths, I haven't gone back to spend a lot of time down there outside of I just did it, you know, the Fire Temple and stuff. Did that, which happens to somewhat be down there. And
which, to be clear, I like the fire temple in comparison to the rest of the temples.
Yeah.
Like, I think my least favorite temple was probably which one was it? I think it was the water temple.
I haven't done that one yet.
I think the water temple was my least favorite temple. And it's not like a regular water temple. But there's just like a specific thing that was like, this is stupid. Like it's like one of those moments where you need something specific to be able to do this well, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And that was annoying. But other than that, like the fire temple it's pretty fun.
I did Fire Temple. I had a good time with that. I think I'm getting back to a point, like a stress point that I had earlier on when I was playing. When I think basically what I figured out is when I have the more time I have to play, the more I enjoy it. And when I like this week, I just haven't barely had any time, so I've been trying to squeeze in time to play it here and there. But when I was doing that and was doing the Fire Temple and had purpose and specific goals and whatever, then that worked out well, because it was like, I'm in here, I'm going to do this thing. But when I don't have much time, and I'm trying to find something to do, then I kind of like rush stuff. And I'm like, that point over there, I'm going to figure out the fastest way to get over there, which like is kind of antithetical to what's great about this and Breath of the Wild, which is that like the joy is in the journey kind of a thing, you know, that like, so that like earlier I saw a glyph and I was like, I'm just going to go get that glyph, which for what it's worth, I think like what you did of like just going and getting all of them, I think also kind of reasonable. So that's not the best example, but there's other things that are like that where it's like, oh, there's a thing over there. And then I'll find a point in the Sky Islands that's like above it and then like glide down to it and skip over all of the things that I would have enjoyed that would have been detours while I get there. So I'm realizing that in my not having much time, I'm kind of getting in my own way, because the times that I have absolutely the most fun are like when I just stumbling on stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like getting distracted.
I was talking about this on stream where I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter be like, I'm here, man. I got X amount of shrines. I got X amount of outfits. I beat X amount of temples. And I'm like, I couldn't even, I can't put a number to 70% of the things that you just talked about. I'm playing this game very differently than most of my timeline. Because like it feels like they're playing this game very objective driven, and like to a degree, like it sounds like you're doing a similar thing.
I'm mostly not. It's just been this week that I've accidentally started to, but yeah, most of the time has been very much not like that, and like just kind of methodically, just going through, or not methodically, but just like organically going through the world and just getting to experience it as it is, and that's great.
And that's just completely how I play the game. Like I couldn't tell you how many shrines I've done, because like whether or not I do a shrine is entirely dependent on my mood. I don't care about like, oh, I gotta check off that box. It's just like, will this be the most fun way for me to experience this game in this moment? Okay, I'll do the shrine. Or I'll get the tower, or like the only thing that was even closely like related to that was, like you said, the glyphs for me. But the glyphs were less of a thing of like, oh, I gotta check off this box, and more I saw a glyph and I was like, what the heck, I need to see what's happening there, and then I went and I got it. Versus like, gotta get my gamer badge that I finished the video game, gotta know, I don't know.
I think the like, and at some point also I made that little glider thing, with like the two fans and the whatever thingy, and when I made it was beneficial for at that time, but I'm like intentionally choosing to not, like it costs 9 Zonite to make it again, but I'm just not, because like I do think that like just the smaller you make the world and the more it feels like, oh, I could pop down there if I wanted to, it minimizes the intricacies of like just neat things that are in there to get to experience. And so I'm trying to like, I think I'm just going to ground myself for a while, that like I'll go up to a Sky Island, but only really if like I
If you're like gliding anyway, and I can probably get up there with
or like if I see a piece of rubble fall down, then I can like do a reverse on that rubble, see if it goes anywhere or whatever. But those kinds of things, like I think just trying to set a destination in mind and then go there by foot, because I just think that pans out better, because otherwise you can check off all the boxes, and if that's the way that a game is fun to somebody, then like that's awesome. But I think for me, I end up having FOMO about things that I'm only missing out on because I'm skipping over them. And so anytime I'm not doing that, it's really, really fun. But I think I do need to pick like what my next objective is, because that's part of the thing, is like it kind of analysis paralysis of like, I could go do this temple. I know there's something going on in the, I can't remember what that area is called anymore, but the Lurelin village. And I know there's this, that, and the other, going on, but, so we'll see. But having a great time in any case for all that. But yeah, just noticing some ways that I'm optimizing the fun out of it in certain times, and don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, but that's basically all I'm playing still right now. So haven't had much time this week. It's been busy, but hopefully more.
Other than that, I'm playing Smash. I'm playing Mega Man a lot. The character, not the game. I don't know why. He's just fun. He's fun. Yeah. But I have no use for him at all. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to be like, maybe he's good against this character, but he's not. He's not good against any of the characters that I need him to be good against, or at least he's not good against and better against any of the characters that I need him to be good against. Like, a matchup that I think is annoying is Samus. Min Min is way better against Samus than Mega Man ever could be. In fact, I think most Mega Man players say that that's one of his worst matchups. So I'm like, well, no reason to play him for that, like that sort of thing. Like, all the matchups that he's like really good in, either Pokemon Trainer's already good in that matchup or Min Min is. But he's fun. He's a fun character. And there's like a decent, like, there's like a lot of characters that I'm like pretty good with that I have no reason, like, I'm never going to use them, but like, it's just fun to be like playing against somebody that's like pretty good and pull out the character and like, man, this isn't PT. You're not going to be able to keep up with me. And then I 3-stocked him, I haven't used in 3 months or whatever. So yeah, he's fun for that. And also he's like a pretty like technical, like intricate character, because he got a lot of stuff going on. So that's been fun. I was going to enter the tournament. The last one I entered, I got top 8 in, but it was Father's Day. And plus I had stuff going on. So they canceled the tournament. But even if they didn't cancel the tournament, I couldn't do the tournament because I was like out and doing stuff, blah, blah, blah. So didn't get to do that this weekend. I was going to do it, but again, too many games. So
too many games.
Not that. And they have a Smash tournament at too many games, but I don't want to. It's no. Because I don't know if it starts on Friday, and if it starts on Friday, I refuse.
Sure. Yeah.
But also, if it starts on Saturday, I don't want to have to get there at like 9:30 a.m. or whatever to make sure that I don't get DQ'd. So next week.
And also then, if
I like make it farther in the tournament, it like makes it about that rather than just do whatever everybody wants to do. And, it's like,
reasonable. So yeah, nice. And then you said Dynamax Adventures? You doing that too?
Yeah. So we're trying to get a shiny Zygarde or any other shinies that we can get. And the group got 3 shinies. I didn't get a shiny. I think Lee got 2, or maybe Trev was the one that got 2 and Lee got 1. But they were all Gen 1 Pokemon. A shiny Tangela, a shiny Sandslash, and what was the other Pokemon? I don't remember what the other Pokemon was, but it was also a Gen 1 Pokemon.
That's really funny.
So, yeah.
Shiny Tangela does not sound like it would be any kind of good.
It's green, and I think it has blue shoes or something. I don't like shiny.
That sounds right.
I don't like shiny Sandslash. Trav said he likes it. I don't like it. It's like a red, it just kind of looks gross. IMO. I like shiny
Okay.
Alolan Sand Slash, but I don't like regular shiny Sand Slash.
I'm looking at it. I'm fine with it. Yeah. It looks kind of more like it's got like a lion's mane instead of, whatever. So that's fine.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
Shiny
Sandshrew is cursed though. It's green.
Yeah, gross. They did the thing that they always do.
They did the thing. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm playing anything else. Am I playing anything else? On the last stream we ranked all the taunts in Smash Brothers.
I saw that.
Some characters got good taunts, some characters don't. That's how it is. Like Samus's taunts are not great. Who had the worst taunts? I don't remember.
Samus doesn't strike me as one that would have good taunts, just because
it was Dark
so
Samus
stoic or whatever.
Dark Samus specifically has terrible taunts.
You know what? That one's a little more surprising. I feel like, just, thinking of the characters, Samus not having great taunts, I feel like checks out. Because, I don't know, that just doesn't feel like in character. Dark Samus, though, feels like, I'm evil version of you and, be tricked and stuff. So it feels like that should have some kind of better taunts.
They did the most boring possible version of that. Where it's like, all right, dark aura surrounding me, I'm going to turn away from the camera. That's the taunt. It's like that sort of stuff. It's like, boo.
I'm gonna look up Dark Samus.
And I already talked about it on the in the breakdown for what happened. But I played Pokemon Scarlet to try to get the shiny Gimmighoul, and then Trev was like, it has regular odds, and I was like, that's stupid, and then I stopped playing that. So
makes sense.
That's what I played.
Sounds
also Street Fighter. I was playing Street Fighter.
Nice, yeah. And now,
I didn't talk about it. I can talk about it now. Story of Seasons. I'm playing that game. I think I talked about it on the podcast before when it got announced or whatever, that I played the original version of this game on the GameCube when I was a child. I think it was funnily enough, my cousin Tyler, he's like the most single player gamer you'll ever see ever. He actively hates playing games with other people. And he was playing this game, and I was like, yo, I want to try this game. He's like, no, this is my game. You can't play my game. And I'm like, that's stupid. So I went to my dad and was like, Tyler's not letting me play the game. He was like, all right, fine, you got a GameCube, I'll buy you the game. He bought me a game. The game's good. So it's the same game, but there's a lot of stuff that they changed that's better and more modern and the video game sense, but also in the societal sense, where it's usually in Harvest Moon games, and I don't know if I don't think they probably don't still do this, but I wouldn't be surprised. When they were Harvest Moon games, the base version of the game, it's you're the guy, and then the deluxe version of the game, you get to be a girl this time. But in this game, you get to be a guy, a girl, or they, them. So you get to be non-binary in this game, and that's a huge jump from not being able to be a boy or a girl in the game. You got to buy a whole nother game to be another gender.
Yeah.
So that I noticed that, and that was cool. And you get to make it your own character. It's very mid character customization in terms of inclusivity. But it's they did the bare minimum. They did the you don't
have to tan.
Yeah, you have one. Yeah, exactly. You have the dreadlock option. They got one of those. They probably have an afro or something. But yeah, I made the character. I played through the first year. I'm probably gonna make a video about it, maybe a short. I don't know. I was gonna meet the embargo and at least do a short, but then I was like, the embargo is the 21st and too many games, and I got it, so I can't. But I'll probably make a video. I want to make a video about remakes. Which I mean, even more so with Mario RPG.
Yeah, seriously.
That goes into it. So it's like I wanna do like the good and bad of remakes, and here's examples of good and bad of remakes, and here's how they can be even better, or like at least not worse. So I'll probably talk about the game more, and that have, again, like most other games that I'm playing, I have a lot of footage.
Yep.
I'm in year 2, so I got a son, I got a bigger house. I'm spending all my money on my son's toys. Oh, and that's another thing. You have a daughter now. And you could, it seems like you just straight up choose whether you get a son or a daughter. Because
eugenics?
I don't know. But like my wife in the game walked. Oh, and this is another thing that's an L in this game. It's all the same original, at least for like the women. It's all the same romance options. So it's all white women. Which is like, come on, man, give me some options.
Yeah.
But I went with Cecilia, who she's a farmer. So there's like the other girl, Nami, I think her name is, and she's like the hard mode option. She like doesn't want to talk to you, you know. She's like, man, and you know, like this whole like these games is like the way you get them to like you more is you give them stuff, but she hates everything. So it's like you gotta try to figure out what she likes, and like, you know, so I was like, nah, I don't like her. And then there's the other girl, what's her name? Molly. I think her name's Molly, and she's like, ew, I hate farms. Your dog is gross. It stinks here. And I'm like, I don't want to be with you either. You don't even like my life. It's crazy. And Cecilia, she works on a farm. So I'm like, yo, we got common ground.
Perfect.
So I married her and I have my son. And we got a bigger house, and I'm trying to, my goal is to see, I don't want to talk about it. That's spoilers. But it does seem like there's way more, like they added more story stuff. Like there's more like cutscenes, it feels like, in this game. And like more event sort of stuff. Also, another thing, like as far as like farming sims go, I don't play a lot of them. It's pretty much Stardew Valley and then the original of this game. But as far as the ones that I've played before, this one is the least annoying to do farming things, because like you can, it's like, you know how it's like it's grid based or whatever, but usually in these games you got to do like the thing. Even in like Animal Crossing, you got to like line up your character pretty like strictly,
right?
And if you don't, like in this game, you could literally walk up to the thing and press the like action plant button and then keep mashing the button, and it'll like progress you through the it'll progress you through the grid.
Nice.
Even if the things are like separated, so like when you plant a tree, they like block off the like 3 surrounding squares automatically, which and other farming games, like you would just be screwed. Like if you plant a tree seed and then you plant one immediately next to that, it would just be like it killed it. The other tree ate the other tree from the roots up. But in this, it just blocks it off, and then like when you go to water them, it just skips the parts that are blocked off from the tree.
That's awesome.
So like that's cool. The only thing that I'm like confused on, and I might have been confused on this as a kid, I'm not sure, is my animals, like they like when I like look at their health bar or whatever, like the and not health bar in like a video game like fighting kind of health bar, but like how healthy they are. It's like lower than I would think it is for the amount of options that I have. Like it's not like I don't think I can give them medicine, but it looks like my animal is like sick on the health bar. I'm like, how? I feed him, I give him love, I brush him every day. How is he sick?
That's so weird.
But yeah, they're like sick. But also like, and it's weird because it's like my sheep, it has like low, like its health is like relatively low, but it gives me golden wool. And I think you gotta have like a pretty good relationship with your sheep to get golden wool. But my cows, they give me like low grade milk, and that's stupid, and I hate that. And I don't know why. I don't know how to fix it. But we'll figure it out, I guess. I'll probably play it on stream too at some point. But yeah, now that's all I'm actually playing, actually.
Sounds good. Yeah, that sounds fun. I'm glad that that's panning out well. And like, I mean, especially in a world post Stardew Valley or whatever, where like that game is received so well that like you kind of have to bring in some quality of life improvements and stuff to make sure that, you know, stuff is suitable for modern audiences and stuff like that.
I also think
while
that
still
this
having the
game,
charm of the original.
Like, I think Stardew Valley is definitely more fully featured, but I think that like somebody like you would probably like this game more because it is very much so more like there's an end point. Like there's like literal like seasons of your life. I don't know about this because again I didn't beat the game yet. Like, but in the original game, the game ends. So I feel like that is also like it's less daunting in that way. Technically,
it's just like you're playing it until you're done.
Yeah,
at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing that's fun, it's like I'm probably gonna see, but that's the other part. Like if I made a dedicated video about this game, I could make this joke. But they're at the start of the game, they do the whole thing where it's like your uncle is like, "Hey man, your dad started this farm, and I want to give it to you. Do you want it?" And I said no. And then the game rolled credits. And
I love that.
That's start over.
Golden
and
Sun
make
does the same thing,
again.
and it's so good. Yeah. Literally in Golden Sun, it's like, well, the world's ending. Can you help us? And then you say no, and then it does like a Star Wars, like the world ended. Blah 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 happened, and then game over. And then you just reload a save, and then go from there. And I love that so
and there's
much.
like other things like that where there's like bad endings or whatever. Like I think if you don't get married by a certain point, you just like, again, I don't know about this game specifically, but in the original game it's like you don't got a wife. There's no point of you to be alive. You can't reproduce if you don't have a wife. Like,
that's so funny.
But yeah, we'll see. It's a good game. I like it. But next, Q&A.
Yeah. Q&A. So we got some questions. Mick asked, sorry, I always get that backwards.
Is it Mick? Is it Mick Mike?
It is Mick. We figured out Mick as in McDonald's. Yeah. Not sure if you noticed, but it sounds like Charles Martinet isn't voicing Mario in the new Wonder game or Wario for WarioWare.
Egad.
Thoughts? Did you see all the stuff about this today?
I did not.
Okay.
Is it Chris Pratt?
There was. So it's not official by any means. It's just the people listening to it, specifically like the WarioWare one, listening to it. It does sound like somebody different. More
I'm gonna
so.
ask him.
Yeah,
I think he's at too many games.
Is he really?
He really goes too many games. I got a story that I don't want to say on the podcast because I don't want to say it on the podcast. But maybe I'll see him.
Nice. That's really funny. But yeah, so in Mario Wonder, there's two lines that people have pointed out that they're like, I don't know, that doesn't really sound like Charles Martinet. And so here's my thoughts on it. Number one, the lines kind of don't.
Says is wahoo.
Yeah, like one of them is like wowie zowie, but just says it a little bit like it doesn't quite. It sounds a little bit off. So there's like a whole bunch of different options of what could be going on. But what I'll say is for right now, don't worry about it. Because like we don't know, and also he's getting older, so either that means like maybe somebody new's going to start doing it, or it means he's older, so his voice sounds a little different than it used to. Like the last game where we got new voice lines from him probably was Mario Odyssey, all things considered, and everything else since then I'd imagine has just been
repurposed audio from.
So at that point, I just kind of feel like, he could just sound different, or maybe they've got somebody new. I just don't think it's something that we need to like be all
up in arms
about yet. In any case,
I don't think I think that's man. Funny. It's Mario. Who cares,
Agreed.
Bro?
Yes.
He only says like 20 words total.
So I mean, it would be nice to have a little send off for Charles Martinet or whatever. But honestly,
that was the Mario movie.
Was the movie.
Him being Mario's dad.
Yep, he's he's in what's the game you're playing, Harvest Moon. He's the dad who the game ends because you're getting old. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts, McMake. Yeah, which is not conclusive at all. I do think the WarioWare one does sound like it could very well be somebody different. The Mario game, I don't know. I don't feel strongly about that, but I'll be curious to hear. Yeah, if it is somebody different, I'll be curious to hear like the whys behind that, but nothing concrete yet. So we'll see. Let asked, how did the Pikmin 4 trailer affect your opinion of Oachi?
Who's that?
That's the dog thingy who we found out that we can like give new power. I forgot to mention that when we were talking about the game. But yeah, in the like hub worlds, as you rescue different captains, they'll like help train your dog or do various like things like that, and I think that's neat, and I like that a lot. So yeah, I'm super down. Also, I don't know if anybody's pointed this out. I also haven't like watched any things on it or whatever, but thinking back about it, I think it might be one like big open world kind of. Just in that, you know, most of the time you kind of select the part of the world that you're going to go to, but it seems like it's all kind of connected in the same area. And like maybe you still launch at different points, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if it's all kind of one world. I could be wrong. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I think the dog is neat. It didn't really change anything. Because I didn't really pay attention to the dog. The only thing that I like fully retained, and I'm like, that's crazy, is the glow Pikmin. So it didn't really change my opinion on him at all. I think that the dog is cool though. I think it could change the gameplay in an interesting way. And honestly, like when I first saw the dog, I just like expected that to be like the rock Pikmin, the flying Pikmin of this game. Where it's like, oh, okay, that's the new Pikmin element that we're going to get here. But they did that, and then also the glow Pikmin. So
cool. So like I'm looking at the trailer now, and so in the training, for example, for the dog, you can teach him buff. You can level up buff, like how strong he is and how many things he can. Like okay, so like when he's strength 2, strength 3, he's the strength of 10 Pikmin, so he can pull things stronger. Chomp, I guess, is just like how much he attacks things. Rush is probably like he can break through, more thingies or various things like that. Learning jump, learning dig. So like I think that's. I didn't look at the details during the direct by any means, but I just like got the overall vibe that like you level him up and stuff like that. And going back to the like feeling like this game is just a fully fleshed out version of, Pikmin. I feel like that just adds kind of fuel to that thing.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I didn't even know that. That's sick.
Yeah. And last one, Megman asked, I've never played Detective Pikachu. Looks fun. Can you tell me more about the first one? No.
Nope. I know it's like basically a point and click adventure game kind of deal. It's like very narrative based, and the plot is paper thin because it is a Pokemon point and click adventure game. Hope this helps.
Detective Pikachu likes coffee.
Yeah,
there's that
a
for
lot.
You.
Likes coffee a lot. People wanted freaking what's his name? Danny DeVito to play Detective Pikachu.
Thank you.
And he's like, I don't even know what a Pikachu is, or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's all I know.
Funny. So there it is.
There it is.
And with that, that's the podcast, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. Lucha, glad you could make the last couple minutes. Hello.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all this stuff. Tell your friend about the channel because the podcast is going away. 2 more episodes, everybody.
2 more.
2 more. Unless or until I guess we get another Nintendo Direct.
True.
Okay. Goodbye. Bye.